Update. My 31 male fiancé's 29 female coworker told me about her past. Original story. I've known my fiancé for 3 years, engaged last year, and we should be married next year. Anyway, last night both of us are hanging out with her coworkers, and we had a great time. I excused myself to have a cigarette outside, and one of her coworkers approached me and asked if I was okay with her. I didn't understand, so I asked him what is he trying to say. He told me that before she was my girlfriend, she hooked up with most of her coworkers. One-night stands, friends with benefits, you name it, she does it all. And then I asked him if he was one of them, and he said yes. I'm not into shaming or anything, but she lied to me. We've been honest about our relationship, and she told me that she's not into hookup culture. I'm still not sure whether to tell her about this, and I also not sure who's lying, she or her coworker. Redditor, what would you do? I kinda lost right now. Edit. She lied to me that she never did casual flings or hookups, that she only gets intimate inside a relationship. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Just tell her what happened and see what she says. When I went out for a smoke last night, Jimmy told me you've hooked up with all of them. And then silence. Silence is your friend when you want information from someone. Let it sit for many, many beats. Eventually, if she doesn't say anything, you can prompt, "Did you?" Keep your cool. If she gets defensive, make it clear, I'm not upset that you hooked up with them. What bothers me is you didn't tell me. You even said you're not into hookup culture. Why weren't you honest? I'm doing this. But can you please give the fiancé you have known for 3 years the benefit of the doubt? You don't know this man. It seems very sketchy to me. I wouldn't be surprised if he was heard trying to break you guys up. For one, if it's 100% true, why would he find you to tell you? Not assume you would know or would care about her past. Right? I was thinking, why would this man dive straight into this topic when speaking to Opie? When I go out for a cigarette break, I bring up light topics that help me get to know the person better. This guy seems to have a clear motive, to cause a rift. Also, someone else mentioned how hookup culture isn't a permanent state of being. I find this to be true. I was once young and naive, and would have a lot of one-night stands. Now I would say that I'm not into hookup culture, that I absolutely would be telling the truth. People change, and her intimate history, whilst important for some people, is quite frankly not Opie's business. It took ages to tell my boyfriend about my past because I was ashamed, yet me telling him was voluntary as I wanted to inform him. It is not a requirement and also not a lie, unless she denied she ever had hookups. You say co-workers, but you only mentioned this one fellow who told you this. If he's the only one, is there any chance he is just a creep who is lying? Maybe he just doesn't want your fiancé to become unavailable. If that scenario is true and you don't tell her, you could be endangering her. It's hard to say what else someone like that is capable of. If he's telling the truth, then yes, her dishonesty, not her past, is a problem. Yeah, this sounds like the barbecue scene at the office space. Opie could blow up his relationship over an untrue comment a douche made. And now for the update. So, I confronted her right away after my first post. He asked her about everything that her coworker, without mentioning his name, told me. Apparently, everything he told me was true. Unfortunately, she indeed had short-term relationships with most of her coworkers. I don't want to ask more about the details on how or who she did with, but there's more than I thought, including someone not from her office, because I know I am a type of person who is extremely insecure. So yeah, she's into a lot of casual hookups. So I asked, why did you lie? And she told me because when we were dating, she said that I said something between the line that I don't date promiscuous women. And because she enjoys spending so much time with me and having a great chemistry, she knew lying was better. Now she's sorry and crying because she lied. She even opted to quit her job and work somewhere else. I told her she doesn't have to do that as I don't want to be a controlling narcissist. But I need to take care of my mental health, and I'm seeking counseling right now. And for the moment, I need some time alone to get a better grip on myself. I even consider postponing our wedding. I see a great future with her. I want her to be part of my life. But deep down, something is killing me. I want her to be part of my life, but deep down, something is killing me. Seems the truth is in plain sight, my dude. You feel like crap because your girlfriend lied to you because she knew you wouldn't like the answer. Being promiscuous before she met you isn't necessarily bad, but lying to you about it was. Personally, I would have a hard time not wondering what else she may have done that with. I'd personally postpone the wedding. You aren't doing the right thing by going to counseling, but you need to give yourself time to work through this. You need to be able to trust your partner in any successful relationship. If you come to the conclusion that you can't, it's better to do so before a wedding. Being promiscuous isn't necessarily bad, but there's something crappy about virtually every male that's in both your lives having slept with their significant other. I worked with a girl like that. She had slept with at least 10 guys from our workspace. I legitimately think it was near 20 in about 2 years. She would bring different guys to the brewery after work or to company parties. It sounds horrible, but the guys were all a joke to our workplace, because it was like, how long are they going to last? You see them trying to hella hard with their appearance and the way they carry themselves? It was a male-dominated workplace, so they always projected a certain way. All the while, even the managers are speculating on who she's going to let inside her next. Your girlfriend lied to you because she knew you wouldn't like the answer, which will be a constant theme in this relationship and marriage. So why bother being in this relationship? You definitely need to postpone the wedding. It isn't just your feelings about her past that you need to address. It's the betrayal of trust that she lied to you deliberately as a way to get what she wanted, despite knowing you wouldn't want it if you knew the real her. Also, the fact that she never would have told you the truth herself. If you had it found out from someone else, she would have lied to you forever. Those are some very serious issues that you need to address both individually and at couples counseling before you marry her. Exactly. I'm not one to yell massive red flags or whatever easily, but this is no casual lie or whatever. She manipulated him into getting into a relationship by creating a premise that wasn't true. Insecurity about past intimate partners isn't something that just goes away, but she was treating it like that. She said lying was the best option at the time. What she forgot to mention was that it was the best option for her, not for them or their relationship. She didn't lie to protect Opie. She lied to protect herself. Maybe counseling will help, but I doubt if they will re-find mutual trust in their relationship. This chick put you in a room surrounded by all the dudes she used to sleep with, and you were the only one in the room who didn't know the dynamic? That's messed up. Even more than the lies, that's messed up to me. Dude who told you was a bro. Agree on a coworker being a bro. Couldn't believe the comments in Nopi's previous post. He is lying. Trust your girlfriend. People seem not to get that telling a man his girlfriend is the town bicycle is a dangerous thing to do. The coworker risked getting into a fist fight to give Opie that information. Dump the lying girlfriend and go buy the coworker a beer. Next story is titled, Update. My 19 female friend, 19 male, acts like I'm his girlfriend. Original story. I have a group of guy friends I hang out with decently often. We mostly play video games and D&D and have started meeting up and going out in person. One guy in particular is a little weird. I'll call him Matt. I was initially closest with him, but I still consider him a good friend. But he's quite possessive. Makes passive-aggressive comments when I hang out with the other guys, and whenever we do hang out as a group, he keeps trying to hold my hand and awkwardly put his arm around me. Whenever he tries to initiate hand-holding, I just give him a high five. Lol. Everything came to a head yesterday when I hung out with 3 other guys from our group without him. He was invited, but at the last second, the rest of us were literally at a restaurant and seated. He told us he had swapped shifts with a coworker. We went ahead and ate anyway since we were already there. And to be honest, it was probably better he didn't come because he has a very basic palate. And we went to a hot pot place that was predominantly organ meat that he would never eat. We're all very Asian and he's white. So we ate and hung out for a bit at a park and went home. The second I connected to Wi-Fi, my phone was inundated with messages from Matt asking me to play a game with him, or asking what I'm up to. And when I told him we had eaten, he got really upset and accused me of being a bad friend. Not any of the other guys, just me because it's just different. I was confused because wasn't he working? His excuse was that the shifts got messed up, but he expected us to just cancel the hangout. I don't really believe him, because if his shift really did get messed up, he could have texted me or any one of our other friends and we could have told him to come down, instead of only messaging me on Discord. I'm basically notorious in our friend group for having a terrible prepaid phone plan from 7-Eleven, so I have no data. So I think he did that to check if I was out or at home. I know a lot of people are going to tell me just talk to him, but I feel like unless he straight up confesses, he's just going to deny anything I say and probably react really poorly. I tell him not to hold my hand and call him stuff like champ and pal to dissuade his behavior, but he's undeterred. How can I subtly friend-zone him without wrecking our friendship? Now for the top advice before reading the update. I feel like unless he straight up confesses, he's just going to deny anything I say and probably react really poorly. He probably will, and that's okay. Seriously, you don't need him to buy into this. You don't need him to admit what's going on. You don't need him to react well. What you do need is for him to stop this crap. That's all. If I were you, I'd pull together a clear and concise list of behaviors that need to stop and tell him, "Hey Matt, there are some things that have been an issue for me, and in order for us to keep being friends, I need them to stop. Don't touch me anymore. Don't try to hold my hand or put your arm around me. I need you to stop constantly messaging me, and I need you to accept that I'm going to be hanging out with other friends, sometimes without you there. I'm not going to apologize for that, and I'm not going to tolerate a guilt trip over it. I'm getting the impression that you're into me, so I need to say now that I am not interested in you. Can you stop doing those things?" From there, if he denies it, say, "Great. We're on the same page that there is nothing between us, and there will never be. Can I trust that you're going to stop touching me and messaging so much?" If it gives you any response other than, "Yeah, sorry, now that I know it's an issue, it won't happen again," cut this dude off. He can't be trusted. I know you called this guy your friend, but honestly, I don't think this man is your friend. He sounds like someone who is interested in you romantically and is just waiting for an opportunity to swoop in, or wear you down enough with his affection that you'll suddenly see what a great and caring guy he is, in his mind, that you end up falling for him. His behavior is not friendly behavior. If he truly valued you as a friend, he would not try to engage in physical contact that you repeatedly rebuff. The problem with these types of people is that they do not understand subtlety, or they refuse to acknowledge it, so you have to be explicit and straightforward. Unfortunately, they also don't respond well to rejection, so it's also likely that he will try to tell you that you misinterpreted his behavior and try to frame it like there's something wrong with you. You gave him mixed signals, or it's your fault for misinterpreting his innocent behavior. It's all gaslighting, so don't fall for it. So, I would just tell him explicitly what behaviors make you uncomfortable and that you need him to stop those behaviors in order to remain friends with you. If he reacts negatively or defensively, he's not your friend. If he's not willing to have a relationship with you on your terms, a platonic one, then it's just evidence that he wasn't really interested in your friendship in the first place and just wanted to try to pursue you romantically. And now for the update. I decided to bring it up with my other guy friends and discussed how to handle things as a group so it doesn't get too messy. A couple of my other friends noticed the behavior and wasn't sure what exactly was going on between us, and some of them had no idea but believed me regardless, which I'm grateful for. We decided the next time he would try to make jabs at me for spending time with other people or try to touch me, the other guys would call him out on it. We all hung out at a park yesterday, and of course Matt tried to put his arms around my waist. And when I started squirming, he held on tighter, which made me panic. Our friends started telling him to let go of me, but he just laughed and said he was joking around. They ended up having to get a little physical and pushed him away from me. And Matt flipped out and started calling them simps and jealous C-blockers before leaving. One of our friends is going to try to talk some sense into him, but for me, that was the last straw. It's hard because they've all been friends since elementary school, while I met them rather recently. But the majority of the boys are totally disgusted with Matt and are going to cut him off. Thank you again for everyone who has weighed in. I'm hoping this is the last update I'll make and I consider this issue to be resolved. Simps and jealous C-blockers? This guy has issues. And he obviously doesn't think much of you. No thanks. Yeah, the comment reveals his true intentions. Good riddance. Wow, that guy's definitely a creep. Don't understand how anyone can be part of society and think that behavior is acceptable. That's awesome they recognized his behavior for what it was and took action. Sounds like you've found yourself a good group of friends. Yeah, honestly, I was worried they were going to back him, considering they've been friends for so long. So I'm relieved that they believed and supported me. Now for the last story. My wife, 22 female, and I, 29 male, are divorcing after she got caught cheating. Man, this sucks. I've invested every bit of time and energy into making a wonderful home for our family. We have 2 kids together that are pretty young as well. We've been together for a few years and got married about 10 months ago. As far as I know, everything was great till about 4 months ago, which I'm sure isn't really the case, but that's the way it was perceived. My wife is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, but untreated. Over the last couple weeks, she's hooked up with 2 other guys on multiple occasions, both of which are also married with kids. She has been talking with multiple others, male and female. All this while she's telling me she wants us to do marriage counseling and work on bettering our relationship. I found out a couple days ago that she had been seeing them over last weekend, when she would say she was running errands and hooking up with them. I'm just distraught at this moment. The dude she was seeing just broke everything off with her because his wife caught him as well. And same scenario with dude number 2. How do I stop being so pathetic about it all? Why do I still want her after all this mess? Why can't I just give her up? Can't sleep, I can't eat. Just take care of the kids and go to work. She's also been coming over to see the kids every day since, and we've been having family days with all of us together doing stuff. But she has absolutely no intentions in wanting to come back. She's living in her car and banging tweakers now, instead of being with her family that loves her unconditionally. And even though every part of me tells me that I don't want anything to do with her, the heart wants what it wants, I reckon. Sorry for the wall of text, just needed to get this stuff out. You need to get a lawyer and keep this woman away from you and your kids. Untreated mental health, banging crackheads, this can get really messy really fast. Get it documented as much as possible. This is a good reason to get primary or sole custody. You need to protect your children first. Edited to add, medical reports or police reports are relevant. Not your own log, because they won't pay attention to that. I would say her living in her car would qualify for an involuntary psychhold, but I don't know. Talk to a lawyer before talking to her. In the US, mental health records are destroyed after 7 years, so if her diagnosis is before that, it will no longer count. Get a divorce lawyer ASAP. If she is banging crackheads, she is almost certainly also using illicit substances, and you should be filing for full custody and insisting on clean test results before she can have visitation. Sounds like she's using. Favors in exchange for D's.